Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Sir Nizam. So today, our group will be presenting about environmental impact assessment, mitigation measures for new roads and highway development. In this presentation, we will propose mitigation measures for Pan Borneo Highway. These include the project activities, potential environmental impact and also proposed mitigation measures. The first activity that is shown is trees clearing. New road and highway development cause some of the trees at the side areas to be removed. The act of cutting trees to build new roads will give impact to the environment. Firstly, it can lead to environmental impact when there are improper disposal of trees and soil. It might cause damming of watercourses and contamination of waterway. Next, erosion will occur due to the bare soil surfaces, causing siltation and sedimentation in watercourses. Drainage pattern might also alter as a result of changes in topography and runoff characteristics. To reduce the environmental impacts, first, all cleared trees should be disposed of at the designated dump site and in a proper manner. It is also forbidden to do open burning, which might result in another environmental impact, which is air pollution. Next, provide sediment trapping device and runoff control measures such as earth drain in order to direct runoff away from disturbed areas. A temporary drainage system should also be implemented since the drainage pattern has been changed. Next, move on to construction phase. The environmental activity during construction phase is earthwork. Earthwork can be defined as the operations connected with excavations and embankments of earth. From the picture, it is part of earthwork activities where there will be shaping and leveling of the cleared site to the required levels and gradient to build roads and highways. Earthwork activities may cause landslide and slope failure at the unstable slopes when soils become saturated with water during rain. Next, it may lead to degradation of water quality due to soil erosion of the exposed and loose earth. Air quality might also be degraded due to the dust moving generated by the earth-moving activities. To reduce environmental impact due to earthwork activities, erosion control measures as proposed should be provided. Next, a comprehensive soil and geotechnical study should be undertaken to prevent slope instability. Lastly, the other alternative is to plant vegetation with good soil binding characteristics to the exposed slope. Next, the other environmental activity during construction phase is sourcing and transportation of materials such as sand, aggregate, cement and steel bar. It will affect the environment when there is deterioration of the existing road pavement due to movement of heavy vehicle. Next, congestion of existing roads by transport lorries might cause traffic jams and may lead to the rise in road accidents. The mitigation measures to reduce the environmental impacts that have been mentioned before are: the first one, all the building materials must be transported by using vehicles covered with tarpaulin to prevent spillage of these materials. Next, do regular checks and maintenance of the existing road network used to transport the materials. Lastly, the transport lorries should not be overloaded and the speed restriction should be strictly followed.
Next is the movement of truck and machinery at site. The movement of truck can lead to emission of dust to the environment. The dust can give significant impacts to the environment like soil erosion, loss of plant tissue, and reduce the photosynthetic activity. There are a few mitigation measures for this activity. First, water should be sprayed on the earthwork, temporary haulage, and the tower routes on a regular basis. Need to spray at regular intervals during and after compaction of the substrate to prevent dust production. Next, the construction site and road need to be wet during the peak hours. The access road need to be paved prior to the construction roads being done. The next phase is operational phase. Firstly is road traffic operations. This operation causes local air quality deteriorated and noise and vibration issue. Local air quality need to be monitored to limit and reduce the impact of emissions. If it is not monitored, it will increase the concentrations of ultrafine particles, carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide, especially in the tunnel because it will rise in a closed area. Noise is loud, obnoxious and irritating sound. Hearing loss can be caused by these loud noises. This noise and vibration are from the passage of vehicles of various weights on the highway. Mitigation measures are needed, which is by continuous monitoring and operation of the installed ventilation system. Designing of roadside barrier is very important on the dispersion of air pollutants emitted from the traffic of vehicles on roads because it will mitigate the air pollutions. Next, mitigation is also very important, which is the implementation of noise abatement measures that will reduce the traffic noise impacts to acceptable levels. Lastly, is the operation hours for high noise activity should be limited for daytime and nighttime, and warning signboard is installed to indicate high noise area. The next operational phase is maintenance of pavement and road shoulder, slopes and bridges. The maintenance will increase the exhaust emissions such as carbon dioxide and water vapor to the environment. There will be traffic delays because of these activities. It also can cause channel erosion and cut banks, which then lead to sedimentation. For the mitigation measures for this operational phase, air dispersion modeling should be carried out and monitored to predict the future air quality and trends. In order to create an effective air quality management plan, also provide new routes and minimize the land closures to reduce traffic and exhaust emission into the environment. After that, implement the barrier on high-speed interstate highways for specialized concrete construction and bridge repair operations. Other safety equipment like truck-mounted attenuators, sign and safety setup are used in conjunction with the beam during maintenance operations. Lastly, establish vegetation along the roads because it has a function to stabilize the soil and prevent erosion from occurring. Lastly is drainage alteration. All the existing streams and watercourses that cross the highway will be impacted. The alterations of the drainage will cause environmental impacts because the drainage system will have an impact on the roads. Like if it has poor drainage system, it can cause floods. Also, the linear roads can act as a barrier for drainage from one side to the other, but this can damage the habitats of the animals too. The first mitigation measure that examine the entire stream, and if necessary, the stream should be widened to accommodate additional runoff discharge. This can avoid the drainage from clogging. A thorough drainage study of the area is also required to estimate the surface water resources of the area and for the management of the requirements for the alternative land use scenarios. Last but not least, to accommodate the increased runoff, permanent culverts and pipes must be properly sized to drain the water quickly to avoid flooding. This is the end of our presentation about this topic. Thank you.